South Korean fighter jets have fired warning shots at Russian military planes which crossed into South Korean airspace. CNN's Anna Corrin live in Hong Kong with the very latest on the details. So what do we know about how this all played out? What are the details at this point?
Yeah, John, obviously we are learning more information, but this is described as very rare and very dangerous. That is what Carl Schuster said, a former US Air Force captain who we spoke to a short time ago. He believes that nothing like this has happened in at least the last decade, where a country has fired warning shots at another country's aircraft. It just gives you an idea of the magnitude of what took place this morning. What we can tell you, John, is between 6 and 9 o'clock this morning, two Chinese military aircraft and two Russian military aircraft, they flew into South Korea's air defence identification zone. All countries have it. South Koreans alerted these planes that they had flown into this zone. These four planes then left. But then at 9:09, so 9 minutes later, another Russian military aircraft flew not just into the identification zone, but then into South Korean airspace. Now, this is some 22 kilometres off the South Korean mainland. They were alerted that they were there. This military aircraft stayed there in this airspace. South Korea then sent up two fighter jets, which fired warning shots at this military aircraft. It left the space, and then at 9:33, it returned. And the South Koreans once again fired these warning shots. The question is, John, why was this Russian military aircraft in South Korean airspace? This has never happened before. Russians have never entered South Korea's airspace. Were they on some sort of reconnaissance mission? Were there some sort of joint military operations taking place between the Russians and the Chinese? I think, however, what is really interesting is that the Chinese left, but the Russians sent in one other aircraft, not once, but twice. So this is being seen as a deliberate act by the Russians to penetrate South Korea's airspace. We haven't heard from the Russians. There is yet to any clarification as to what has taken place this morning, but certainly answers will be demanded from the South Koreans.